Yeah, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new stream on the Max Tiger HD YouTube channel. Today we're back with a brand new episode of the F1 Chat. It is a bit late, but it's the only time I could do it, I'm afraid. And it was just, I can't do much else about it. It was really the only thing I could do. Updates from Mexico City Grand Prix second practice. Leclerc has crashed. Leclerc crashes out of the practice. I do want to quickly mention about a certain something. Let me just... I don't know whether I've got it exactly, but... right. If I just quickly do this, I will mention what I will say what I'm going to mention. So, obviously, last episode I did talk about a certain team called Red Bull breaching the budget cap of F1. Now, it is one of those things for Red Bull. It is one of those things. Now, there it is at the bottom of your screen. I'll put this up here for me, wherever it... Yeah. Hold on, let me try and change that, actually. Let me quickly just do something else here. There we go. Now we move that up to there as well. Here we go. Red Bull penalised for budget cap breach. Now, so as it says at the bottom, Red Bull have been hit with a fine and a reduction. Now, it's not reduction of points from last season, so Lewis Hamilton will not get the title. However, Red Bull have been hit with a $7 million, £6.07 million fine and a 10% reduction in permitted aerodynamic research for breaking F1's budget cap last year. Governing body, the FIA, said that Red Bull had overspent by 1.86 million in 2021. That's in pounds. Their financial punishment is not a reduction in their permitted spend next year when the budget cap is $135 million. 10% cut is in the time they can spend using their wind tunnel or computational fluid dynamics to design their car. This is Christian Horner, as it says at the bottom. You can read it yourself if it shows up. But Christian Horner has said, we have been provided a significant financial and sporting penalty. $7 million is an enormous amount of money, and the more draconian part is the sporting penalty, which is a 10% reduction in our ability to use our wind tunnel and aerodynamic tools. That is an enormous amount. That represents between 0.25 seconds and 0.5 seconds of lap time, which is a quarter and a half. It comes in from now and will be in place for a 12-month period and will have an impact of development of our 2023 car. The punishment comes after Red Bull acknowledged that they were at fault and entered into a so-called accepted breach agreement with the FIA. Horner added, why have we accepted it? We felt it was in everyone's interests to close the book. We accept the penalties begrudgingly, but we accept them. Now, Horner did insist that the overspend would absolutely not tarnish Max Verstappen's 2021 title. Verstappen was a hugely deserving champion, according to Horner. There'll inevitably be partisan support on either side, but the reality is he did the job. He won the race at the final Grand Prix of the year, and 2021 is now confined to the history books. Horner admitted that Red Bull had not taken up the opportunity to do a drive run of the cost cap in 2020, which many other teams did. He said they considered their interim submission in April 2021 as their dry run, and that they had no feedback from the FIA on that. The FIA had previously said that Red Bull had committed a minor breach, which is anything up to 5% of the cap, or $7.25 million in 2021 when Verstappen won his first title, with no further details. A statement by the FIA detailing Red Bull's errors said the team had inaccurately excluded and/or adjusted costs amounting to a total of £5.6 million, or £5,607,000 in 2021. Teams overspend a breach of relevant costs adjusted by the FIA was £1.864 £1,864,000. This amounts to an understatement of accounts nearly 5% and an adjusted overspend of 1.6%. Total of 13 points of non-compliance, including an understatement related to their new power unit business and fixed costs and costs relevant to catering, social security, apprenticeships, inventory, and non-F1 activities. The fine has to be paid within the next 30 days. The FIA have said that Red Bull applied the correct treatment to a notional tax credit. The team would have exceeded the cap by only £432,652. Horner pointed out that this was a 0.37% overspend, and that therefore the 10% reduction is pretty draconian. As we said before, there is no accusation or evidence that Red Bull Racing has sought at any time to act in bad faith, dishonestly, or in a fraudulent manner, nor has it willfully concealed any information from the cost cap administration. Rival teams have reacted. Aston Martin have also been fined. Zach Brown welcomed the punishment handed down to one of their rivals, but called the FIA to go further with any future sanctions against those that willfully break the rules. Brown also said, we appreciate the cost cap investigation is a complex process, which the FIA have conducted in a thorough and transparent manner. I'm pleased the truth is out there now, and it is the results as we expected. There was a breach of the cost cap by one team, with the other 9 operating in line with the rules. It is therefore only right that the punitive action is taken. Whoa. My laptop's going over all over. Will the penalty have an effect, you ask? Well, Red Bull already had the lowest permitted aerodynamic research for the first half of 2023 as a result of winning this year's championship. Last year's F1 introduced a sliding scale of aerodynamic restrictions in an attempt to close up the field, giving the lowest team in the championship the most research time and the highest the least. By winning the Constructors' Championship, we become victims of our own success by having a 5% incremental handicap compared to our second and third places. Close. Open again. So we'll have 15% less than second and 20% less than third. That will have an impact on our ability to perform on track. Close. However, rival teams will still have questions as to whether the punishment is appropriate, particularly over whether the fine will have any effect on a vastly wealthy global corporation, and also as to why the amounts published are different from those that were doing the rounds of the F1 paddock at last weekend's US Grand Prix. They will also likely point out that the areas of the overspend are irrelevant because they too could have chosen to spend more in such areas, but that would have meant spending less on engineering and car design. So, we look at some comments. You will see, or I can see, how people have reacted. Okay, so someone's put, imagine the uproar if a 100-metre runner failed, if Jugsteth paid £1,000 to keep his gold medal in first place. And then someone else has replied, you're not comparing apples to apples. It is the teams that was at fault, not their drivers, so why would their drivers be punished? Nice attempt there. You can fuck off because you're stupid. The TV put, they've won more money than being fined. The system is broken. Someone's put, who cares though, Max is the best, in reply to that. Max is not the best, Lewis Hamilton's actually the best. Then it's Michael Schumacher, so forth. So hold on, I'm going to reply. Oh, fuck off. I'm not verifying my email just to do that. Just what we thought would happen the FIA so week when it comes to RB. Cheats really do prosper. Someone else added, that's easy when your team cheats. Simon Roberts said Verstappen should have been stripped of 2021's championship. Someone else in the comments replied to that, grow up and move on. He should be penalised for continuing to flout the rules over body jewellery. He should be penalised for continuing to flout the rules over jewellery, but there we are. Well, Verstappen don't wear jewellery. Unless you're talking about Hamilton. Hamilton has the right to wear whatever he fucking likes, thank you. How would you like it if I said you can't wear fucking jewelry or makeup anymore? Then you'll say, oh, that's not fair because I'll turn into an ugly bitch. Yeah, think about it. El Rebelde said, I'd consider that $7 million well spent if I was Red Bull. The cost cap is utterly pointless. Humble Chelsea fan, but where does it say that they spent $7 million? Realistically, it was $400K. Spin Doctor said, a slap on the wrist, basically, and then sorry for your loss, said, and a very light one at that. AP put rigged bull racing, that is all. And then let's agree to disagree, who was the first one to up the first comment. I like it, a name that could stick. Now, I am now going to get the results up so we can get into the race, but that is all for now on that topic, and we will move on to this bit of the stream. This will only be around a half an hour to 40-minute stream, as I do have to go, as I need to get ready for something happening. Anyway, moving on. So, United States Grand Prix review. There are the Constructors' Championship standings. So, first and second practice were today. Third practice and quali are tomorrow, with the race on the 30th on Sunday, as usual. Now, George Russell did get fastest lap in the United States Grand Prix results, but you will see that once I share my screen and show you the results myself. These are the results from the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. Max Verstappen wins once again with Lewis Hamilton close to a victory, yet again as in Netherlands, I believe. However, misses out after 6 laps before the end, overtaken 5 seconds behind Verstappen at the end of the race. Charles Leclerc in P3 ahead of Sergio Perez as he keeps his position only just as he comes out the pit lane, ahead of George Russell, who did gain the fastest lap and get 11 points rather than 10. Lando Norris with Fernando Alonso in 6th and 7th. Alonso, obviously, sorry, excuse me. Alonso obviously getting into the collision with Stroll that eventually made Stroll go out. Alonso almost going out himself, but saving himself at the last second. Sebastian Vettel gets another 4 points on the draw on the scoreboard, with Kevin Magnussen getting 2 and Yuki Tsunoda getting 1. French driver Esteban Ocon and Chinese driver rookie Zhou Guanyu getting into 11th and 12th, just missing out on the points. Lando Norris fourth up from 11th, fourth up after his pit stop. Pierre Gasly finished just behind Alex Albon in P14, as Alex Albon once again moving up to P13, higher in the ranks. However, just can't quite find that finishing touch. Mick Schumacher in P15 with Daniel Ricciardo in P16, and Nicholas Latifi once again rounding off the grid with Lance Stroll in the massive collision with Alonso only just surviving to continue in the race. Valtteri Bottas spinning off with a little bit of oversteer and into the gravel. Carlos Sainz getting taken out by George Russell at the first turn on the first lap unintentionally. Yet Russell still got a 5-second penalty. Qualifying results were like so. However, Leclerc did get a penalty, hence why, and so did Perez, hence why Hamilton started third and Verstappen started second with Carlos Sainz first. So Leclerc had fastest lap in Q2. However, Q1 and Q3 were occupied by Carlos Sainz. Standings as follows. The driver standings, Max Verstappen extends his lead, as the title says, of the stream, with 13 wins and equaling the record of Vettel and Michael Schumacher in a single season. Charles Leclerc in second, with George Russell closely following in behind Perez. Carlos Sainz, 202 points. So only, I believe that's 4 points. 4 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So Lewis Hamilton will be able to finish ahead of Carlos Sainz if he gets more points than him in the next race. So George Russell is only 20 points ahead of Hamilton. So realistically, Hamilton can still get fourth. He just needs Russell to fuck off. Constructors, Red Bull have 15 wins with 656 points, 469 with 4 wins for Ferrari. Mercedes just behind with 416, 149 for Alpine with McLaren on 138, which is 11 points behind Alpine, who are destined to keep fourth place unless McLaren can do something about it, which is virtually impossible. Sixth is Alfa Romeo with 52, Aston Martin in seventh with 49, Haas 36, AlphaTauri 35, and Williams in with 8. So they're not sat on 0. So the calendar stands as it shows. So United States Grand Prix was last weekend. Mexican Grand Prix will be this weekend. Then we have a 2-week break for Brazil, and then a 1-week break, no week break actually, for Abu Dhabi as we move on to the final race of the season, and we finish just in time for Christmas, and we will see what will happen. Now, next thing, final realistic thing that we're going to talk about, if we go to the live session, we can see practice 2 for the Mexico City Grand Prix. The live leaderboard is non-existent. There we go. 119.9 for George Russell as he tops practice. Red Bull with Max Verstappen 1.6 seconds behind. So not a bad lap time from George. However, the 5 tyres were used in all of those for those 2. Lewis Hamilton, I forgot where he is. Hamilton is now 4th, ahead of Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, however, behind Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon. Now, if we go on to Mexico 2022, instead of looking at practice, we can see that practice 3 is at 6 till 7 tomorrow evening. This is my time in the UK. 9 till 10 is the qualifying on the Saturday. And the Sunday is 8 till 10, same as America. Circuit of the Americas, on the 30th of October on the Sunday. That is my time, so that'll be UK time is when it'll be on. Circuit stats, if they can be bothered to load. Thank you very much. So, number of laps, 71 with the first Grand Prix in 1963. 4.304 kilometres is the circuit length with 305.354 kilometres the race distance. Lap record held by Valtteri Bottas in 2021 when he was in the Mercedes, as he did a 117.774. Now, this is the track. So you got long front straight, a very long front straight, all the way from back here into the first few corners. It's a little bit of a chicane all the way down this DRS section into another hairpin, another chicane, then into a hairpin kind of motion. It's not really, it's more of a right-hander. Then you go down this little straight, and then you go through the S's, and then onto the second part of DRS, down into sector 3. A little bit of confusion. There's a little tiny hairpin, little kink there, and then round the final corners, round the corner, then round the final corner, and then a massive long straight again. So if we go on the virtual lap, you will be taken around by Sergio Perez, as he is the Mexican driver on the grid. Sergio Perez, obviously in BWT Racing Point at this moment. However, you will see exactly what you will see at the weekend. However, this is from 2019, but it will still be the same. So this is now not... Hold on. That's what I wanted. Hold on. Give me a few seconds. There we go. Now, let's see what Perez has to say about Mexico City. Or we'll just see an advert. You will no longer see me for the rest of this. So let's see what happens.
Hi, I'm Sergio Perez, and I'll take you around a lap in the Hermano Rodriguez. So here we are opening a lap in Mexico, a very long straight. You can go very fast, up to 370. Aiming for a good braking zone, as straight line as possible, and don't have a lockup because braking is very light. Then aim for the apex, take a good amount of curves, left, right, and then aim for a good traction. Activate DRS, and then another very hard braking in a straight line, and then try to turn the car as quickly as possible. Combination of good corners, then another tricky little corner, and then going into the section of fast corners. Very hard braking, not a lot of curb that you take. Left, right, and this one is very important because this one sets you up onto a very long straight, and then you enter the final sector. Good braking required, and you go and then into the stadium area. Very slow, very tricky, quite easy to make a mistake. You have to be very precise, especially on this one, on the last corner. Here we've seen a lot of crashes, so this is a short lap of the Autódromo Hermano Rodriguez. And I'll take you around.
You don't have to play again, mate, but all right. Now then, that is that. So, qualifying sprint race predictions. Qualifying, Verstappen will top the qualifying. Charles Leclerc will come second. Third will be Carlos Sainz. Russell in fourth. Hamilton in fifth. Perez in sixth. Now, okay, this isn't working properly. There we go. Right. Race predictions will be Verstappen to win. Leclerc come second, and Hamilton to come third, with Perez just in behind, and Russell, and then Carlos Sainz just ahead of Perez. However, I'm sorry to say, guys, but that is it. That is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel while taking putting the notification bell on all. I appreciate football forever football MCFC joining. Yes, I do that as well. I really do hope that as well. But thank you all for watching. Match day vlog will be out tomorrow night, if not Sunday afternoon, for the Hull City versus Blackburn game tomorrow afternoon. And tomorrow afternoon's game, Hull versus Blackburn match day vlog will be out Saturday evening, tomorrow evening, or Sunday afternoon. So, and then F1 Chat will be Wednesday, Tigers Talk on Monday. Yeah, Monday. And yeah, so hope you enjoy. But yeah, that is the end of F1 Chat episode 19. Verstappen wins again in Austin and adds even more points to his second title. See you all see you all for the vlog and Tigers Talk on Monday. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.